And we're going to go back to that school board meeting in Glendale where we just saw some skirmishes from SkyCal and Desmond Shaw overhead. Can you describe what happened there, Des?
Yeah, Pat, just moments ago here, fists were really flying here. This is the group that I was just showing you moments ago, and things really got bad here where it turned into an all-out brawl for about 10 or 15 seconds before Glendale PD was able to get into here and actually disperse some of the area. We saw a couple of protesters actually look like they were beginning to flee the area towards the south. Definitely a few troublemakers in this group. It was getting pretty serious there, but to Glendale PD's credit, they were able to come down, and it looks like they may even be taking someone into custody right here. You see them with their hands behind their back. So I think the police are going to get a lot more serious about this and maybe start arresting some people if they do not begin to calm down here at this school board meeting. Pat, back here in the studio.
You know, before I let you go, Desmond, can I ask you a question? Because the last time we flew over this, we saw people in white shirts. Were they the ones that actually were scuffling with other people or with police officers? The white shirts were the people that...
There was all manner of... yeah, there was some people in black, some in white, some in pink and purple. So, you know, quite a few different people in various types of clothing. Unclear what their identifiers were. But here you see this person right here with the mask on their face. Mm-hmm. Definitely saw some fists being thrown by that person, and it looks like they are getting hauled away. And here you can see other people now coming and rushing up to them as well. So still a very tenuous situation here off of Wilson and Kenwood in downtown Glendale outside of that school board meeting, Pat.
No question. You know, I asked that question because the people that had on white T-shirts were against the gender and sexuality curriculum being taught in the schools. That's why I asked that question, and I see some applauding there. I was just trying to make a differentiation into what groups could have been involved in this, but don't know about the guy with the mask and the gray hoodie.
Yeah, unclear their identifier. They did have what looked to be a pink face mask on and a purple sweater. It's the only identifier that I could see.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Desmond. And I know you're going to stay over this situation. And look, there's even more scuffling as you're overhead, Des.
Yeah. Just getting right up in the police's faces. I mean, tempers are extremely high. Just a very combustible situation with people, you know, with vastly different views, and they were very well separated earlier, and then it just seemed like some troublemakers kind of got away from the main protest and tried to get away from police so that they could, you know, get in each other's faces, and then this is what we saw now, fists flying and at least one person being arrested.
You know something, and the other protest, I believe you had mentioned, Des, but some of these people didn't even have kids in school. You know, they were from outside groups, if you will. I mean, that's just fact. So if you just wonder about that, and that's another reason why I asked the question about the people there in the white T-shirts. Now a lot of people seem to be running, scattering, not exactly sure. It looks like more scuffling too, Desmond. Wow.
Yeah, it's a chaotic situation, and Glendale PD, they have a lot of officers down here already, but when you have people moving all over the place, it just makes it very difficult to kind of corral everyone and behave. And yeah, I know that the situation with having a child in school, I know that was one of the accusations made, you know, with the North Hollywood situation last week, which unfortunately saw some violence as well. It's unclear if that is the situation here as well in Glendale.
You know what, Desmond, we want to replay for our viewers just how tense it got out there. If we can roll back some of that video. All right, the left of your screen, the bottom there, where you can see officers actually, not right there to the right. I mean, really.
Yeah, it was a full-on brawl.
Yeah, really fist flying.
And Pat, really quick, just to your point about, you know, some of these parents or some of these people don't even have kids in the school. This is the same group that was at Sataquai last week, and that was the similar, you know, message we got from school district officials there, is that many of these people didn't have it, and also the thing that they were protesting, you know, was a book that they admitted that they hadn't even read. So you've got some of these outside, you know, people that come into to these situations. And that's what Glendale was saying, is a lot of the information has been misinformation spread on the internet by some of these groups. And so now you have people that may not even have a connection to these schools or this district that are here now causing these kinds of problems.
And it's a pretty big area we're looking at, Des. At least it seems to be from your vantage point and what we're looking at. And as these groups spread out all over the place, I mean, they go from one place to the other. It's kind of difficult, I imagine, for police to corral and be in more places than one. I mean, that's pretty big. Now, look, that's a parking lot, obviously.
Yeah, well, now, and look at what they have set up here. You know, they've set up now an additional barrier to keep these folks over here. And, you know, these folks over here have just been here the whole time, just, you know, exercising their First Amendment, haven't been doing anything violent from what I could see, but then it was just a large majority of protesters from what appeared to be both sides that kind of broke off and tried to intentionally move away from the police over into this area of the parking lot. And, you know, unfortunately, it just got away from Glendale PD for a little bit, but they've called for more assistance. We understand they even summoned CHP's helicopter to get over the scene. They wanted to get some air support on this, maybe just to get some additional eyes on any potential troublemakers if they see anyone suspicious leaving the scene, just so that they can, you know, have that much more control of the situation, or attempt to get some control, I should say.
You know, and I'm assuming most kids are out of school. I'm not exactly sure about after-school programs or some that meet with clubs. I mean, you know, club meetings, that would certainly not be a good thing for them to see. When you see adults, you know, throwing punches and yelling and screaming at one another. I see even police are still there in the middle trying to separate some people.
Yeah, and they have, you know, some of their batons out as well. I mean, I can see, you know, the tense faces on officers' faces as they try to control the situation.
Okay, Des, well, we're going to move on for now and know that you will be overhead, and we'll get back to you as developments warrant. Thanks so much.